Shalom u'bracha l'kulam. Today we're going to continue in the Tzurba Mirabanan. We are in the middle of the candlelighting halachot, and we are holding. We're on page. Right now. Okay. We're on page 93. Okay. We're on page 93. This section really started on page 91. And the section started off with, where should one light? So the first thing that we realized is that when you light the Shabbat candles, you have to have got usage from the Shabbat candles. Primarily, the usage that needs to be is where you're going to eat. Okay? If a person does not eat in that area, it's questionable. But then he should have some other usage to those lights. That he can see, he can walk around and stuff like that. That would also be very helpful. All right, so now we're holding in a question that comes up a lot. Is, I'm going to my mother's house, or I'm going to a hotel, and there's more than one person lighting the Shabbat candles. Does everybody make their own bracha? Where does everybody light?
One place.
All in one place? Or should I light in my room? You light in your room? How does it play out? So on page 93, there's a Rishon known as the Maharil, and he deals with two or three families that get together, and they now need to light candles. So page 93 on the bottom, source 46, okay? Shiloh Tshuva Maharil. Shnayim u'shlosha balei batim. Ochlim b'makom echad. You have 2 to 3 families eating in the same place. Kol echad mivarech al minra shelo. Says the Maharil, everyone makes their own bracha on their own lights. Apapi sheyesh kvar ora miruba. Even though you already have a lot of light, everyone can make their own bracha. Afal gam sha'or zarua gam bazeh. Even though there was a rabbi known as the Or Zarua, and he wasn't sure if you're allowed to make a bracha in a place where already the bracha was made, or someone else already made the bracha. He wasn't sure. But says the Maharil, over ani odati nirali leishav de kol ma the mitosef ora yesh be shalom bayit tafi besimcha yetera. Says the Maharil, basically every time you put more light, that more light is appreciated, more enjoyed, it's usable, therefore you can have more than one beracha in one place. That's the Maharil. And we saw that he mentioned the Or Zarua wasn't sure. So come to the Shulchan Aruch on page 94, Shulchan Aruch in source 47, and the Shulchan Aruch writes, 2 to 3 families are sitting together. Some say everyone makes their own bracha. And some are not sure. And now this is the Shulchan Aruch telling you what's the proper act. So it says the Shulchan Aruch, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever how many people are there, only one person should say the bracha.
What is safek here?
Should I say the bracha or not? Why is it a safek? Because is the more lights doing anything? Having more lights, is it doing anything? Right? The whole point of having the lights of Shabbat, Shalom Bayit, right? Kavod Shabbat, Onek Shabbat. So I already have it from 2 lights, 1 light. Why I need more people to make more brachot on more lights? It's not doing anything. Or maybe it is. The Maharil says maybe it is, therefore make the bracha. The Zor Zarua and the Shulchan Aruch is like, I'm not so sure. Therefore, safek brachot, only one person makes the bracha. But the Ramah writes right there, the Haggah, says the Ramah, Aval anu, ein nohegin kein. We don't do like the Shulchan Aruch, and we do, it's talking, the Ramah is saying this, not we. Okay. The Ramah is saying that the Ashkenazim, they do make a bracha more than one person if you're lighting in the same location. Okay? So it comes out, what is the halacha, l'maaseh, for a Sephardic couple?
In Hebrew, Hagah means Ramon?
When it says Haga means a gloss. A gloss. Yeah, but in Shulchan Aruch it means the Ramah. That's the Ramah. Yeah. Okay. So, what's the halacha for Sfaradim? What would be the halacha? If you would have to, what would you say? What was the halacha? So you have here Machloket Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah. So what's the halacha for us?
One.
That's right. Here I'm going to read it to you from outside the Tzurba in the Sefer the Chai Olamim. He writes, many people are staying in one home for Shabbat and will all be eating and sleeping in the same room. Only one person should light the candle on behalf of everyone. So how do people noheg? What do people do if they have to do this? This is what they do. They get everybody together. You get all the ladies together. Okay? We're going to light the candles now. One woman says the bracha, usually the head of the household, the mother, the grandmother, whoever it is. She makes the bracha. Everyone answers amen. And then they all light. Okay? This way, everybody's lighting to the bracha. Now, what happens?
No Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
No, not Baruch Shemo. Right.
Like shofar.
Right.
Like
Okay. Now, take a look in source 48. Mishnah Berurah brings a very important halacha. Ve'im yesh le'echad mehem cheder hamiyuchad lo. If one of them has their own private room, okay? They have their own private room, bedroom, whatever it is, whatever living quarters they have, that's private. Even though they're not eating there. Usually we say the candles should be where you're eating, and you should get the usage of the candles you'll be eating. But since you can't make a bracha there because someone else is already lighting there, so he says if you have a room that's private, you're allowed to make the bracha there. If you're going to light in the room, you have a private room, you can light there and you can even make a bracha there. And here, I'm just going to read it from here in the Chai Olamim, right? If each person will be sleeping in a different room, then each person should light in his or her respective room with the bracha. Okay? And only one person should light in the dining room with the bracha. So if you're lighting in different rooms now, right, but it has to be your own private room, your own place where you're going to use. You can't just go into the kitchen and say, okay, you light in the dining room, and I light in the kitchen, and you light in the living room. No, it doesn't work that way. It has to be one by the place where you're going to eat, and if you have your own private room that no one really goes in there, I mean, if someone has to go in there for something, it's fine, but no one really goes in, it's really private room, you can make your own candle lighting and bracha.
So usually if two, three family, either they gather to hotel or in-laws.
Yeah, going to in-laws.
In-laws, each family, the Ahmad and
everybody's there.
They have their room.
Okay, so technically, they should light in their room.
In the private room or the kitchen, everybody do it in kitchen.
So again, there's a couple of factors here. La halacha. If each one of them want to make their own bracha, one person lights in the dining room, and everyone else who has their own private room can light in their own private room and make a bracha there.
All the family, they have a private room. Let's say in-law.
So I'm telling you, you're telling me the question, I'm telling you the answer. One person lights in the dining room with the bracha, you're by your father-in-law, let's say, right? Now you have a room there, la halacha, you can go take 2 candles, light them in your room where you're sleeping, and make a bracha there. Now, what is an issue for some people with this is that the owner of the house is not too happy with you lighting candles all around the house. Okay? And in the bedrooms especially, there's mattresses, there's clothing, it's very flammable there. Everything can blow up. And especially if you have little kids, right? A lot of times you go to your in-laws, you're going with your kids in tow, right? And the kids, before they go to sleep, everything's flying everywhere. So you put a little tea light candles on top of the closet there and you're lighting it, it's not going to be safe. So again, lighting candles is a mitzvah, but this mitzvah never triumphs safety. So therefore, if because of safety concerns, you cannot light in your room, so then obviously you don't light there. Okay? You could put an incandescent candlelight, the tea light with the electric bulb. Technically, yes, we can do that. Yes.
The night lights also, they get heated up. They get very hot.
Is it?
It's gonna be. They get very hot. I leave in the bathroom, and they get very hot.
But is it the light itself? How is it produced? It might just get heated up because it has an electric outlet, but is it the light that is a fire? Okay, so now we dealt with the in-laws' house. Now we're going to come to the hotel. Okay, so I did not spend Shabbat in a hotel? I can't say I did. I can't say that I did. But my understanding is what happens in the hotel is a very interesting thing. And some of these hotels, what they do is they don't want everybody lighting in their rooms, and they don't want everybody lighting in the dining room. So a lot of times they put a table in the lobby, outside the dining room, and they tell everybody to light there. Okay, there's gonna be multiple issues with that. Okay, and it shouldn't really be done. So let's take a look. Says the Piskei Teshuvot that those who do light in the dining room, right? If you're in the hotel and you're lighting in the dining room, you should be particular to light the candles close to the table where they eat, not in a corner far away from the place where they eat. Meaning, again, the candles are meant for you to use while you're eating. So therefore, you should put them close to where you're eating. Now, let's go to the source number 50, Shal Shuv Mamre Mordechai. And he writes over here like this: B'derech Klal, Hanhalas of the hotel, they don't really give you permission to light in your rooms, right? For safety reasons. Right. And they set aside a makom b'labi hamalon, right? They give you a lobby in the hotel, a place. Shabo kol hanashim, and they light over there. He says, he says, not even one person can make a bracha over there. No one can make a bracha over there. If you're lighting in the lobby, no one can make a bracha. Why? You have to light in a place where you're going to get some hana from them. You're going to be able to eat with them. You're able to see with them. Who needs it in the lobby? He says. You can't make a bracha in the lobby. No, not even one person can make a bracha in the lobby. He says what you could do if it's in the lobby, then what you can do is you can bring some coffee or eat some cake near the candle. Yeah, bring the dessert to the lobby. Okay? So this way you ate something by those candles. However, the issue still for Sfaradim is
it's not where you sleep.
No, you have more than one person lighting. Once you have one person lighting, you can't make any more bracha.
But are you Mekayim Mitzvah? Meaning you're not even Mekayim Mitzvah, Misafek? Meaning maybe...
If you light it without a bracha?
Misafek brachot, yeah. But also Mitzvah...
Yeah, also Mitzvah you're Mekayim of lighting the candles. The bracha you can't. So most people want to do the mitzvah with the bracha. They want to get the full package. Okay? So, he writes over there in the end, V'isha Sfaradia, she comes there, V'ra'ata sheyesh kvar nerot, the Lakim sees already the lighting, the candle's already lit. Tadlik below bracha. So then she lights without the bracha. So what can be done in the hotel? What can be done in the hotel is like we said before. Number one, if you really can't light in the rooms, what you can do is you can get all the ladies to come together, which is very hard. I mean, how many people in the hotel and tell them all to come down at the same time? That's never going to happen. Okay? But if it was possible, all right, they should all come down together. One of them should say the bracha, and everyone else can answer amen, and they light, and this way they're all yotzeh in the bracha. That's one way around it. The second way around it is like we mentioned before. Okay, give me 1 second over here. Let me see what I wanted to bring down. Here we go. Says in the Sefer over here, the Chai Olamim, lighting candles in the hotel lobby or on a table in the dining room that is situated too far is not a valid option. Also, he writes that if there's one person already lit, you can't light there. You can't light with the bracha there. Therefore, the last option, this is the last option, is to light an electric light in one's room. All right, and if they're incandescent lights, they can be lit with the bracha. Okay, so maybe invest. Today and tomorrow is Amazon Prime Day, right? Maybe if you can find a nice deal on the incandescent candle lights. So if ever you go somewhere, you're not sure you're able to light with the bracha or not. Here you have those candle lights, and according to many, you can make a bracha on them and use them. So that's one way out. Someone asked me when I was learning this last time. Someone said to me, "Okay, I don't have my incandescent bulb. Okay, I can't make a bracha downstairs in the hotel lobby, but in the bathroom of my hotel room, there's an incandescent bulb. All right? Most times, first of all, if you're there over Shabbat night, you don't want the light going on and off, right? And you want to sleep with the light off. But the bathroom, okay, to keep the light on, and it happens to be the light is an incandescent bulb. Can I turn the light in the bathroom on as if it's my Nerot Shabbat? And someone said, I even have enough from them. I'll see what I'm doing in the bathroom. Right? And I'll see what I'm doing in the bathroom.
Just in the bathroom. When you leave the door a little open for the bathroom, you can walk around the apartment and see where you're going.
So it turns out the halacha is that it's not kovedik.
Really?
Yeah.
Even our modern day bathrooms that are...
I say the bathroom is not a kovedik makom, and therefore it shouldn't be used as a place that you would make the bracha on the light and use the light.
Even though you come out.
But if you had a bulb somewhere else in the room that you can turn on and use it, then technically you can use it, but make a bracha if it was incandescent bulb.
At the end of the day, if somebody does not follow the rules of the hotel and does light, was he yotze, or since he violated the management's rules?
I don't think it's a question there, but it's a question in many things, that if we go against the hotel rules and stuff like that. From a halachic approach, I don't want to take it. From a shkafic approach, I'll approach it, is that we as Jews have to, I know that a lot of times we feel the rules don't apply to us. We're Am Nivchar, we're a special nation. Right? But in the end of the day, Rav Pam was very into making sure to follow the rules of the land and the rules of the law and whatever is in place to keep to it. Rav Pam once went shopping somewhere in Borough Park, and they wanted to give him tax free. Right? He wasn't buying it for the yeshiva or something, just for himself, personal. But he was a rabbi, so they wanted to give him tax off. And he looked at the receipt. He said, "You didn't charge me taxes. Please ring it up again. I got to pay the taxes." This is type of man Rav Pam wasn't. That's what he taught his talmidim. You got to pay it. You pay it. You got to do it. Rav Pam would go to jury duty. Right? Some people think, jury duty is a waste of time. But that's the rule of the law. There's a halacha, the dinu de malchus adinahu, right? The law of the land is the law. And as long as the government is not an anti-Semitic government, then that is the law, the halacha. If they say you got to go to jury duty, you go to jury duty. You got to go do these things. You got to do these things. Baruch Hashem, I went to jury duty already twice. Second time was more fun than the first. But but the person has to do his whatever you have to do. So therefore, I would never say to go against the hotel, unless you know they're doing it on purpose. They usually, they let you light candles in your room, but now the Jewish convention came, now they came with a new law that you can't light it. Right? That's a different story. That might be an anti-Semitic law that you might be able to circumvent. But if it's the hotel policy all the time, I would definitely suggest not to go, because if something happens, it's going to be a huge chil Hashem and stuff like that.
You'll have a glass box covering it and do all these shit.
So if that would be the case, maybe it'd be worth it to ask. Ask the managers, like something like that. The management of the hotel. If I put it in a glass box and everything's okay, would it be okay to light the candle or something like that?
And hotel, hospital, same applies for both, right? Yeah,
hospitals is the same story. Hospitals is even more dangerous because you have medical gases, you have oxygen, you have other gases that are in the lines of the hospital walls. And if there's one little leak or something like that, you're gonna have a whole nice explosion. So. So you gotta be more careful.
What about light? The condensing bulb?
Incandescent bulb.
Incandescent bulb with the battery.
Yeah, that's fine. That's even better.
So you can move it.
That's even better.
You put it in somewhere and it's no fire. Work 24 hours.
Yeah, incandescent bulbs, portable. Yeah, that's the best one because the battery is even better. Chacham Ben Zion said battery power is better than plugging it into the wall. Okay, fine. So now we have that. So we have all those halachot squared away. Everybody knows what to do. Okay, now, one last piece over here. Says in the Piskei Teshuvot in source 52 on page 96. He says another way that it could be done.
51 is fast.
52.
No, but 51, you talk about it?
We talked about it out, yeah. We talked about it that you have to eat there. You take something to the lobby, and that's based on that as well. So in 52, Piskei Teshuvot tells us that maybe what the woman can do is, for Ashkenazim, she can turn the lights on in her hotel room, okay? Then go downstairs and light the candle with the bracha there, and also that would work on what she did there. Like there, she in her room, she lit by herself privately, and then she came out here and she lit the candle. Remember, Ashkenazim make the bracha after they light, so the bracha applies to both. Okay, that's what Piskei Teshuvot wants to bring for Ashkenazim.
So she said bracha in the room?
Right, ki'ilu. Right, because Ashkenazim make the bracha after the light, right? So she goes into the lobby, into the hotel room, puts on the light, then goes downstairs and lights the candles where everyone else lit, and she makes the bracha on both. So it's her own and it's in front of others. And because if you're worried about that issue of doing it in front of others, people candles. Okay, fine. So to come out halacha l'maaseh from this section for us Faradim, very simple. That Shulchan Aruch holds that only one person can make a bracha in that one room. Right? You cannot have more than one person making a bracha on the candles in the same room. So therefore, if a young couple is going to their in-laws or to their parents and they want to make a bracha, they need to light the candle in their own private bedroom where they're staying. Okay? And if it's an issue of safety, then they shouldn't light it there. And they can either use an incandescent bulb, right? Or what they can do is go out to where the mother or mother-in-law is going to be lighting, hear her bracha, answer them in, and then light there as well. And that will work as well. Yeah? Okay. Now, the big question here is, and this was a question that Shalom Meir was asking the last couple of times. Shalom Meir's question really was, well, the question we're dealing with now is, what am I gaining from lighting Shabbat candles? Right? Why am I lighting Shabbat candles? You told me for Oneg Shabbat, Kavod Shabbat, Shalom Bayit, right? Which means I can see my food, I can see where I'm going. Don't I see that with the lights that are here? Yeah. My electric lights. In the modern era, those candle lights are really obsolete. You don't really need them. They're obsolete. They're gone. They're not needed. Because I light the candle, it doesn't do anything. So why am I lighting it? And why am I lighting it with the bracha? Right? Perhaps I should say my bracha on the electric lights. So we take a look at the radiance of Shabbat and source page 97, source 53. He says over here, most today everyone has electric lights. And people ask, poskim ask, how can you make a bracha? They add nothing. So therefore, these poskim say that before lighting the candles, one should light the electric lights for the sake of Shabbat and recite the bracha over them as well. Right? Some say that the electric lights is fire and it can be used as fire. So we're not saying it's fire, but we're saying, tell the Ashkenazic lady, turn on the electric lights, light your candles, make a bracha, so it goes on both. So kavod onik, it works in the end. For Sfaradim, we make the bracha first. So same thing. What they would tell you to do is shut off the lights, okay? Make the bracha, light the candles. Now remember, us Sfaradim ladies do not accept Shabbat when they light the candles. So they make the bracha, they lit the candles, and then turn back on the electric lights. And this way, your bracha goes on everything, right? Your bracha goes on everything. And that's what he says. Take a look at 97, the second paragraph, page 97, source 53, second paragraph. One should turn off the electric lights in the room where the Shabbat candles will be lit. Then, this is for Ashkenazim. Then turn them back on immediately. And then the Shabbat candles should be lit. And then the bracha will be said. For Sfaradim will be just the opposite, which would be shut them off, light the candles, put on the lights, and take Shabbat in. And this way, you lit the candles and the electric lights, lichvod and oneg Shabbat. The Rav Sternbach gives a different reason. Rav Sternbach says, truth is, you're right. Today I have electric lights everywhere. But Rav Sternbach says another idea. He says there's an appreciation for the Shabbat candles. Meaning, you come home from shul, you're making kiddush, you're looking for the Shabbat candles, right? You want to see them. The Shabbat candles itself sort of kind of gives an ambience to the room, making it look like Shabbat. And therefore, he says that in itself, that kavod in itself is a reason to make a bracha on it. Okay, and the Pnini Halacha in source 55 says that lechatchila, you should turn off your electric lights. But if you didn't, it's no problem whatsoever. Okay, you can light the candles even without it. What does the Yalkut Yosef say? He doesn't bring it over here, but I'll read it to you from the outside the Tzurba. And he writes over here, and his lashon is very, very, very strong. He says, there is no need whatsoever to turn off the electric lights before one kindles the Shabbat lights. Okay? All the electric lights are burning brightly. One may still recite the blessing over the designated Shabbat candles or oil lamps. So he seems to be going like Rav Sternbach, which is that those lights, you're right, it doesn't really give any more light that I can use, but those lights in and of itself is a certain kavod, it's a certain respect, it's a certain ambience, it gives Shabbat flavor, and therefore it is good enough to make a bracha on, and you don't have to shut off the electric lights beforehand. I was once somewhere where the rabbi was giving a speech, and he was telling everybody, you must shut off the lights, right? And everyone was like, but my mother never shut it off, and no one ever shut it off. And so I tried to explain it to them that it's a good thing to shut it off, but there's no need to. And so if a person doesn't, he has nothing to worry about.
Why shut it off?
And this way, you're showing that it's l'chvot Shabbat, and the candles do something.
So it's more of a custom nowadays?
If it's done, someone wants to do it, it's nice. Here he writes, it's praiseworthy to shut off the lights in the room when one is lighting Shabbat candles, so the candles actually give light. But again, it does not need to be done. It does not need to be done. A person wants to do it, it would be very, very nice.
In places where it's still like bright at night, like in Antarctica or in like the white nights, they have all that stuff. Like, do they still have the kavana of like the natural light that they get as well, or it's just specifically for electricity?
A light that we create, a light that we create. Yeah. Okay. Take a look at this Zohar over here on page 99, source 56. Little Machshava over here. Take a look at Little Machshava. He writes over here, the Zohar, that a woman should light the candles with joyful heart and a good will, as it's a supreme honor for her. It's a great merit for herself to merit holy children who will be shining with Torah in fear of Hashem, who will bring peace to the world. By lighting the candles, she also gives her husband long life. Okay? For this reason, she should be very careful with this lighting. In fact, I saw interesting halakha they would bring that the husband should prepare the candles. It's especially praiseworthy for the man of the house to set up the candles before Shabbat for his wife. And it's brought down the name of the Arizal. Okay, you want to do some Kabbalistic things, here you can do. Prepare the Shabbat lights for the wife. Right? When she's lighting it, she's giving you life. Right? That extends your life. And you prepare it. So use bigger wick, more life. Don't be cheap. All right? Fine. And the Sidro Shel Shabbat, he writes about candlelighting, that the candlelighting takes away mahloket from the home, right? Because mahloket is fire, but instead of having the ish of mahloket, you make the ish of the candlelights, and it kind of substitutes for mahloket. So if you use nice candlelights, you'll have less arguments on Shabbat.
Could that be the reason for Shalom Bayit, or Shalom Bayit is...
Yeah, Shalom Bayit. So candlelights for Shalom Bayit. Yeah, we said one of the reasons for candlelight is Shalom Bayit. Takes away the machloket, the ish of the machloket, and it brings the ish of Shalom Bayit. He brings an interesting story here at the end, in Source 58, about how the first Shabbat, once they got Bnei Brak back, when they came back to Eretz Yisrael, how they had no houses there, and there were only 4 families that were living there. You know what Bnei Brak is right now, right? It's one of the most populated cities in Israel, right? So when they first came to Israel, and the Yishuv, there were only 4 families that lived there, and they lit the candles the first Shabbat. They didn't even have a house. The house wasn't done, and the wind was coming and trying to take out the candles. So the men, with their long black coats, stood around the candles to protect the candles for hours until the wind died down, and they get the Shabbat candles. So just people really appreciate the Shabbat candles and stuff like that. Now, let's move on to page 111 as we continue over here in another section, the section of who lights the candles. Okay? Who lights the candles? We all know, but let's take a look. Rabbi Mordechai, on page 111, source number 1, we say a famous Mishnah that we say every Erev Shabbat. שלושה דברים צריך אדם לומר בתוך ביתו, ערב שבת עם חשיכה. So when it gets darkish, right, it starts getting nightfall, you have to say 3 things. 2 of them, questions. 1 of them is a statement. Do it. Right? Isartem, right? Which means, did you give maaser? Right? Isartem, araftem. What's araftem? Did you make eruv? Right? If you need and then the last one is a statement. Hadliku et haner. It's getting dark. Make sure to light the candles before it's too late. So who is he telling that? He's saying it to his wife. He's saying it to his family. He's telling them Hadliku et haner. So shows Rabbi Yeshua. In the Midrash Rabbah, they asked Rabbi Yeshua, Mipnei ma nitan la mitzvat ner Shabbat. Why did the woman get the mitzvah of nerot Shabbat? So Amr lahen. So Rabbi Yeshua said to them, Al yedei shchitad nishmato shel Adam Rishon. Since she took away Adam Rishon's neshama, so to speak, right? We say Ner Hashem nishmat Adam, right? The candle of the Hashem is the neshama of a person, and she took away Adam's neshama and made him die, right? So therefore, the fikach nitan la mitzvat ner Shabbat. Therefore, in order to bring more life back into the world, she now lights the candles. All right? That's how it gives more extension of life to her husband, like we said.
You mean he became
Bring
Yeah, because he came prone to death. She brought death into the world, breath to Adam. So by lighting more light, she now brings more life into the world. Now that's the Midrash Rabbah. Now, the Rambam gives a more rational approach of why the lady does it. Right? You gotta love the Rambam. The Rambam writes. He says, remember, you have to right before light the candles before she get the hama. V'nashim, why do ladies do it? Nashim, they are commanded mitzvot al davar zeh yoter min ha'anashim lefi shehen mitzvot bebateim. Since they're found at home, the woman is home, right? They're doing all the work at home, right? You need lights on Shabbat. Who's going to put it on? The lady. She's doing all the other chores in the house, right? She's doing all the other work in the house. So the other work is putting on the candles as well. Therefore, he tells them beforehand, nevertheless, he says, he has to be on top of them and tell them, hello, go and make sure to light. Okay. Says the Shulchan Aruch, and Shulchan Aruch brings the Rambam's approach. Shulchan Aruch says the Nashim muzharat by Yoter, they have to be more careful with mitzvahs lokas and ner. Mipnei, they commanded, and they're busy with doing the stuff in the house. Says the Mishnah Berurah, what happens now if one day the husband comes home and says, today I want to light Shabbat candles? Can he do that? Can he take the mitzvah away from his wife? Huh?
No, I don't think so.
So what Mishnah would say? Ilya says what? Even if the husband wants to light himself, the wife takes precedence, unless there are many candles, in which case he may also light. Right? She can give him to light the extra candles.
6, 7, 8
Okay,
candles.
she can give him light the extra candles, but the bracha and the candles, the main ones, are lit by her. Okay, let me just take a look briefly in the Hilchot Shabbat over here. If he adds anything that we missed over here. Okay. A man should not take his mitzvah away from his wife. He should light in other rooms if he wants to light, he writes here. And in addition, okay, we talked about that one as well. Huh? Because she has to do a tikkun through it. She does a tikkun through her lighting the candle. He doesn't.
Not men
Based on
obligated.
the Rambam's concept, nowadays ladies are also working.
Also what? Working outside and at home. What do you mean? So that's it. They're working at home also.
It's different.
Okay. Why is that? Why is the man also working outside? But the man has another job also. He has to be osik b'torah. He has a second job to be learning Torah. The woman doesn't have a job of limud Torah. Okay, so that's her job is at home. Okay.
Taking care of the kids.
That's it. Kids, the house, the bayit. All right.
Hashpalo.
Hashplo is necessary once a week at least, right? Mordechai. Okay. Now, there has been a new trend in many Jewish circles about who lights the candles at home besides the wife, besides the mother. Some communities now started, the little girls start lighting as well. Single girls.
Teaching.
Some even 3 years old. They start already lighting a candle. Okay?
They're being from Rivka.
So good one. Okay. Shmirat Shabbat Kilchata writes, Yesh Nohagim, there is some minhagim, Shekol Banot, Shebebayit, Sheyagiu Lechunuch. He says, only girls who come to like 6, 7, 8, Madlikas Ner Shabbos. They like the Ner Shabbat. V'zev Noisev al Ner Karas Habayis Madlika, and this is beside what the woman lights. V'yesh, and there's some, Shegam Mivarchot Ad Lakazo, that the girl actually makes a bracha on these. The ones that the girl is lighting. I mean, the wife is lighting, the mother is lighting, and the girl is lighting with the bracha. He says. And he says, when they do this, that each girl should light in a different room. This is so they can make their bracha. But he also brings, the Shmir Shalach says, you know what? Well, we know what else? If you look in note 4, Rav Neuwirth writes, what else the girl can do is, she can say, I'm not yotzeh with my mother's bracha, I'll make my own bracha. Right? And
It's not going to be kavod.
First of all, we don't do this, but this is what they say. Shmirat Shabbat Kilchata writes, this is a possibility. Simcha Banim Kohen, in his Reins Shabbat, writes that really it's a Chabad minhag. And Hama'al Lubavitch Tikkun Shekol Bat Shel Gimel Shanim Velamala Madleket, that it's really a Lubavitch Chabad minhag that all girls 3 and up should light the Shabbat candles.
So this is nothing new. That you said that recently there's some.
Recently, since the Chabad movement, since the last Rebbe, the previous Rebbe. Yeah.
Before him, we didn't do it.
No, it wasn't. It may have been done in some communities, but not as widespread as it is today in many communities. The Shah Sheshuva Yechavedat. Who's that? It's Chamovadia. Let's see what Chamovadia writes. He writes, Me'ikar halacha. He says, from the real din of the law, the real halacha, Ein kol chova al banot. There is no chova on the girls, okay, that are supported by their parents to light Shabbat candles. There is none. Olam, and from forever, lo nahagu benot Sfaradim ve'edot mizrach lasot ken. Sfaradim never had this minhag. Okay, Sfaradim minhag, if you take attention, they're more very traditional, very more conservative. Meaning, there's one father, there's one mother, and they're the last call. No one else does things. All right, same thing like on Hanukkah, one menorah. You don't have this. And now every kid comes home from the school with the block of wood with those screwdriver things there and the candles in them, and we say, "Hi, my last gift," and let them put them on. It's not good. You should teach the child. There's a father in the house. He lights the candles. What you can do is, as the days go on, you can give each kid to light one of the other candles. You light the first one, and then holding their hand, you can give them to light the other one and stuff like that. But there should be one menorah, and the father lights it. Okay, and they can participate that way. It's the same thing with the Shabbat candles. It's not everybody does. There's a mother in the house. The mother lights. That's it. However,
So daughter doesn't do.
what?
The daughter 20 years old. 20.
Shouldn't do it. If they're supported by their father, then they shouldn't do it. Umikol makam im yesh beratzon. They have a ratzon. Litnaheg b'hasidut v'lahachmer al atzman. All right, so this is a case of, I'll give an example. There's a girl was doing it. Okay? She was doing it. And now you learn this halakha, and you're going to come home, you're going to take away her Shabbat enjoyment. Part of her Shabbat going in is to light candles. Okay? Even though she has no din in lighting candles. Right? So he says, if then, they can light, but also they definitely should not make a bracha. Right? If they want to light candles, they can go ahead and light the candle, but definitely no bracha. Rather, listen to the mother, who she is the main part of the house. Listen to that bracha. And then she should light it in a different room without a bracha. Wow. She's not even saying lighting in the same room. She's saying the mother lights in the dining room, she should light in a different room without a bracha. Right? Exactly the opposite of Rav Neuwirth. Telling a little girl to light a candle in another room might be dangerous. So if the girl is already lighting and she wants to light, I would not say to stop it. Let the mother make the bracha. she answers amen, and she can light a candle or two. It doesn't hurt. She can put whatever she needs to do. But only one person makes the bracha by Sfaradim, and it should really just be the mother. If the girl, if you didn't start the girl doing this, don't give her to lighting candles. We don't do such things.
But this is not possible.
That what?
Because if the mother say bracha and she say amen, so she accepted Shabbat.
No, we do not accept Shabbat by saying the bracha of the Lakot Nerot.
Until what? Until when?
Until we accept Shabbat. Until she accepts Shabbat. There is a time if you light candles, you immediately accept Shabbat. It's if in the last half hour.
So,
right?
But she cannot turn
Or
on
it's
the
before the last half hour.
But she cannot touch any more fire.
The what?
The daughter cannot touch any more fire.
Why not? We say the bracha, then we light. We
The bracha, then you light.
Yeah.
The mother light.
Yeah.
And she said amen.
So that's it. What? If
So she.
can the mother light after saying the bracha?
Yeah.
Huh?
Can the mother light after saying the bracha?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So then, if you answer amen, you also can light.
Yeah.
Amen is the same thing as saying the bracha,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I say amen, I can also light right after.
So but the same minute.
Yeah, right
So-
after.
But when it's finished, the daughter cannot go in another room in 5 minutes.
Oh, so she's sitting in the other room and then she says the bracha. She lights
So
here, lights
she's
there.
in the other room.
Still,
how can get there?
First of all, we're going to see later on that just because the wife or the husband or the father or the mother accept the Shabbat doesn't mean the kids or the other spouse has to accept Shabbat. That's the halakha. So if you accept Shabbat, your wife doesn't accept Shabbat. If she accepts Shabbat, doesn't have to accept Shabbat. So she can answer Amen. She can go take whatever long it takes to go and light there. Is not a problem. She doesn't accept Shabbat by answering Amen. She doesn't accept Shabbat until she accepts Shabbat. And we're going to get into that at a later point.
Will that be a problem for the Ashkenazim though?
That what?
They first light the candle,
Right.
then they say the blessing.
Yeah.
In that case, for the daughter to do it separately. Or
So says Rav Newworth, she should light in a separate room, or if not, she should say, I wish not to be Yotze through my mother's bracha. And then she makes her own bracha, and she,
do they
after.
accept Shabbat right away or no, the Ashkenazim?
They accept Shabbat as soon as they light. The minute that they light, that's already Shabbat for them.
For them, it could be a problem then.
But they don't do it that way. They light first and then make a bracha.
At the bottom it says here, the more prevalent custom for the Ashkenazim, if you look in the orange.
Yeah. Right, is not to do it.
No.
For unmarried, not to light their own candles when they are home.
Yeah, but
Okay? And that's why Pnei Halacha brings as well. So most Ashkenazim do not, even their girls don't light candles at home. It's really Lubavitch and anyone who has some influence from Lubavitch. יש נהגים שבנוסף שהם מדליקה כל בנותיה שהגיעו לחינוך מדליקת אף אביהם נרס בברכה וכן מן חסידי חב"ד. ולמדת רוב הפוסקים שרק אם המשפחה מדליקה נרות וכך נוהגים בכל שאר קהילות ישראל. So says the Pnei Halacha Rabbi Melamed, he says this is only really a Chabad minhag. Okay? And therefore it's proper for every woman to follow her own family custom. Yes?
So Sephardim turn the lights, turn the matches, turn them out, and then say bracha.
no, that way.
Sephardim
No. Sephardim,
say bracha.
bracha,
Then
then light. Chacham Ovadia says that what we do, we make the bracha, and then we light.
yes.
Oh, Hanukkah, same thing.
So why Ashkenazim opposite of this?
So we're gonna get into this. This is actually
And
I'll show you where.
Elokim.
here on page 123. That's where it goes in. Does one accept Shabbat by lighting? Right. This is the whole issue there. It's a couple of good pages, and B'ezrat Hashem, that probably next time we'll get into it. Okay, but that exists. That's,
What you just says here, two things. Unmarried girls and financial support.
right.
There's only one.
They're unmarried, but they're not financially supported.
They're married, but they're financial support.
Oh no, they're married for sure. They light. For they light. They're even if they're financially supported. Again, parents after 6 years old after the kid turns 6, the parents have no chiyuv, no halachic obligation to support their kid. That's all they really stuck up. It really is.
That's only for the boys, huh?
It's for girls as well. Okay, there's no, so it's old stucca. So if you decide to get stucca to your older kid to help them out, that's it. But they're their own entity now that they're a married couple. They're their own entity. They would always have to light. Yeah. Okay. Let's just take a. We have. Okay, we're out of time. But the next time, what we're going to get into, Rabotai, is the wife is home, the husband is not, in two different places. Does he need to light with the bracha as well? Maybe not, maybe so. Yeshiva boys in the dormitory, the girls in seminary who are away from home, do they have to light? The mother's lighting at home. Does it make a difference? So that's some of the stuff. And then the big sugya next week will be accepting Shabbat at the time of lighting or not. Okay? Now we're going to move on to our parasha. All right? Give me 1 minute.